Shalom. I want to give all the praise, all the glory unto Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also, I want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, all right? So I'm going to do Jeremiah 19. That's where I'm going to read from today. And it says at the top, number 1, thus saith Yahawah, go and get a potter's earthen bottle, and take the ancients of the people and the ancients of the priests, and go forth unto the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is by the entry of the east gate, and proclaim there the words that I shall tell thee. All right, so this is how Yahawah gets down. He uses his prophets, his mouth, right? He always, before he does anything, he tells his prophets what he's about to do. That's his mercy on the people that hearken. The people that don't hearken, obviously they don't have mercy. So you got the 2/3 and the heathen, who they're not set up to hearken or listen. So they become, the destroyed, or the lost souls, whatever you want to call them. But Yahawah always has mercy for his remnant or his elect. Anytime he does something when he's about to, put wicked on a city, put evil on a city, he gives his message to his prophets, right? Tells that in Amos 3:7. And the other thing is he's the one who creates the evil. Yahawah creates the evil. That's why he gives warning to his prophets. He gives the word to his prophets, and then his prophet's job is to blow the trumpet, to warn, right? Let me read this. So I'll start at 6, Amos 3:6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Right, so the prophets, that's a metaphor. We're a trumpet, right? Tells us to lift up our voice like a trumpet in Isaiah 58. And then it says, shall the people not be afraid? So if we're out here, set up as the watchmen, and we're blowing the trumpet, the ones who don't hear us, or the ones who don't hearken to the trumpet, don't listen to the warning, their blood is on their own hands. And it tells you in Ezekiel 33, I believe it's Ezekiel 33, the Lord's prophets, we wash our hands clean by blowing the trumpet, by blowing, giving the warning, right? Verse 7, it says, surely Yahawah, the Most High, will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. All right? So when you talk about secrets or mysteries, a lot of the Bible, a lot of the prophecies are secrets and mysteries to the rest of the world, to these, these false prophets, these, there's a lot of false prophets in Babylon, right? They're not teaching the truth. They're not teaching they're not teaching the Bible according to true understanding. So in this case, you like with the missiles, how many pagan Christian churches are warning about missiles, or warning you about the mark of the beast right now, right? And that shows you those are false prophets, because they don't have the secrets. They're not warning the people. See? But the Lord's true prophets, we have the Spirit. The Spirit works with us. And it's always been since the ancient time. That's why, I spoke on this in depth, because in Jeremiah 19, he opens it up with saying, let me read verse 2 again. It says, and go forth unto the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is by the entry of the east gate, and proclaim there the words that I shall tell thee. Right, so he's telling Jeremiah, he's saying, here, give these people this warning. You see? So that's what the prophets, we're we're the Lord's voice, we're his mouth. All right, verse 3. And say, hear ye the word of Yahawah, O kings of Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem. Thus saith Yahawah of hosts, the Most High of Israel, behold, I will bring evil upon this place, the which whosoever heareth his ears shall tingle. See? So that's the same thing with his prophets in today. We're out here blowing the trumpet, telling you about the evil that's about to come. And why is that? Because Yahweh has given us the secrets and the mysteries. We know what the MOTB is. We know the metaphors and the parables about the nuclear missiles in the Bible, right? So our job is to warn the people. And really, the only people that are going to hearken or listen to us are the elect, right? The others are going to scoff, mock, be unbelievers. They're until the evil happens, they're not going to believe that we're telling the truth, you see. Let me get this precept real quick. Let's see. So this is and this is the spirit of prophets, speaking against. Let's get the scripture real quick. Jeremiah 28. Salakia. Jeremiah 28. And let's try 8. Yeah, it says Jeremiah 28 and 8, it says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. So there's nothing new under the sun. This is the same thing the Lord's prophets in today's age are doing. We're prophesying against countries, kingdoms. We're telling them about the war that's about to happen, the third woe, World War III. We're telling about the evil, which is the word evil breaks down to bad time. So we're telling, we're out there on the streets telling the people that there's going to be evil in the city, meaning bad times are coming to Babylon, America, and pestilence, right? Dealing with diseases. You have in the news, if you look in the news, one of the brothers from the Denver camp, Amawan Pada, he did a lesson on, Bill Gates and, his little, his second plot, right? Which is dealing with, another pandemic, another virus that's 20 times more lethal than the what do you call it? The Novid, right? The Novid-19. Right? So we're doing the same thing. We're in the same spirit as the prophets of the ancient. We're out here prophesying against countries, against kingdoms. We're telling them that the war is coming, bad times, diseases, and all of it is the work of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And he puts the spirit on this devil, this Edomite, to, basically, he's the Edomite is the Lord's sword on Jake. It tells you that. Tells you that in Psalms, because King David, he prayed, he said, deliver me from thy sword. And that's the same thing we're saying. We're saying, deliver us from the sword. And who is the sword? Yahweh's sword is the Edomite, the one who's going to put evil on Jake, right? Let's get that real quick. Oh, it's deliver me from the wicked, which is thy sword. And we know that Esau, Edom is the wicked. The so-called white man is the wicked of the Bible, right? Let's get Psalm 17 and 13. Let me see. Psalm 17 and 13, it says, in the middle of your screen, arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. See? So we're in the same spirit as King David and Jeremiah. First of all, we're warning our people, blowing the trumpet. And then at the same time, we're praying to Yahweh to deliver us from the evil, deliver us from the wicked, who is the Edomite. He's the one who's going to, the Lord's going to put the spirit on this so-called white man to come down with great wrath upon the Israelites, right? Because he knows he has but a short time, as it is written in Revelation 12:12, right? So deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. So that's the same spirit we're in. We're like, Please Yahweh, Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha. That means please in Hebrew. We're like, Baba Kasha, deliver us from the wicked. Deliver us from your sword. Meaning, literally, deliver us from this Edomite, this so-called white man. Deliver us from this devil, you see? Back to Jeremiah 19, and I'll read 3 again, because it says, and say, hear ye the word of Yahweh, O kings of Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the Most High of Israel, behold, I will bring evil upon this place, the which whosoever heareth his ears shall tingle. Right? Verse 4, because they have forsaken me and have estranged this place and have burned incense into it, into other gods, whom neither they nor their fathers have known, nor the kings of Judah have filled this place with the blood of innocents. Right? And it's because our people were going off, just like they are now. Right? In the ancient times, during the prophet Jeremiah, during his time, our people were going off. And then during the modern prophets in this age, our people are still going off. They're still doing these wicked things. It's like it says here, and have filled the place with blood of innocence. Because when you go into what we're about to read here in Jeremiah 19, it starts to tell you about the, basically child sacrifice. And the modern day child sacrifice, you may not like literally be putting your kid on an altar and setting it afire, setting it ablaze, but spiritually, you're putting your kids on the altar by taking them into these doctrines that are not the truth, right? Because now we're in 2024. Now we're dealing with truth now. If you're still in modern Christianity, or you're still in Jehovah's Witness, you're still or you're converting to be a Muslim, or you're any doctrine outside of this truth, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? The foundation. Any doctrine outside of this, you're literally sacrificing your kids to devils, and you're spiritually you're putting them on that altar to be sacrificed. Because what's the altar? The altar is Babylon, America. That's the altar, and the goats and the sheep are going to be these heathen and these 2/3 of our own nation. The 2/3 of our people who are going to remain in wickedness, and they can't receive this knowledge and this truth. They don't believe the Lord's prophets, meaning they're those people that don't hearken. They're those people that don't listen to the trumpet, right? To the warning. Right, let me get this because this keeps popping in my head. Isaiah 58:1. It says, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, in the house of Jacob their sins. Right? Because you got to understand, our people are grown up in captivity, and they don't know the truth. That's why being scattered is a curse, because when you're scattered in all nations, you come up learning the ways of whatever heathen nation you're in, right? So those morals, your values, what you look at as normal, is totally different from the actual truth. So that's why we have to show Jacob their sins, because first of all, they don't know the laws, right? What is sin? Transgression of the law. Our people don't know the laws. So the prophets, our job is to blow that trumpet, to give the warning, and then need to teach them their transgressions, because quite honestly, our people don't even know their transgressions. Some of them are natural, like some of the laws that people break, they know in their spirit that they know the law, that like adultery, like you're not supposed to go have sex with another man's wife, right? Or you're not supposed to kill your brother, right? Things like that. Those are like things that our people, yeah, of course they know that, but there's a lot of laws that our people, we need to teach them their transgression, and show our people Jacob, the descendants of Jacob, we have to show them their sins, because why? They don't know the laws. They don't know the truth, right? So Yahweh, through his wisdom, through his mercy, he sets up his prophets to warn. And we prophesy against, just like our brother Jeremiah, just like our brother David, King David. We're in the same spirit. Not only are we prophesying against these countries and nations, but we're also praying to Yahweh that he has mercy on us and delivers us from his sword, which is the wicked, which is the Edomite, so-called white man. All right, Jeremiah 19 and where am I at? 5. They have built also the high places of Baal to burn their sons with fire for burnt offerings unto Baal, which I commanded not, nor spake it, neither came it into my mind. And so, yeah, in this time, there were literally our people were so wicked they were literally burning their children on altars, right, to Baal or even to Molech, right, because Molech would be is another example of a wicked deity. Baal, Baphomet, um, Molech, Ashtoreth. These are all idols, false gods. But see, our people were doing that child sacrifice. Which, when you go into that child sacrifice, it deals with that the false god Molech, right? So you can Google that, Molech. But anyway, let me read 6. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that this place shall no more be called Tophet, nor the valley of the son of Hinnom, but the valley of slaughter. Right, and when you look into Tophet, it's a location in Jerusalem, right? So this is where our people were dwelling. This is talking about Jake, right? Our people's wickedness, 2/3. All right. And so the same thing, just like he says, hey, this ain't gonna be called Tophet anymore. It's the same thing with Babylon America. You're not gonna call this place America anymore. It's gonna be known as the Lake of Fire, or a place where the sinful kingdom that Yahweh had to judge with great judgment, with fire, right? Like, well, that's why we call it an altar, because just like any regular altar, you take an animal and you will burn the animal on the altar. Well, the altar here is Babylon America, and the people are those are metaphors for those goats and sheep. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find a verse. Well, the ones that are coming up aren't what I'm trying to look for, so I'm going to move on. Let's go to Jeremiah 19 and 7. And I will make void the counsel of Judah and Jerusalem in this place, and I will cause them to fall by the sword before their enemies. So you see, making void their counsel, meaning he's gonna, pollute their mind, pollute their judgment, make them, basically takes the truth away from our people, right? He gives our people a lack of understanding. Whenever we go off, whenever Israel or Jacob has been wicked in the past, Yahweh has removed understanding, right? He's even hid his face from our people, right? So this is what it's saying. I will make void the counsel of Judah and Jerusalem in this place, and I will cause them to fall by the sword of their enemies. So you see that now, who's our enemy? Esau, Edom. When Yahweh is not dealing with you, guess what? You're vulnerable. He's going to allow you to die by the sword. He's going to allow the so-called white man, the Edomite, to slaughter you in the street. You see? You don't have a hedge when you're being wicked, and when you're not acknowledging Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, And he has his way with judgment with everybody is different, right? But this is why the men in their right mind, we literally pray, say, Yahweh, deliver us from your sword, deliver us from the wicked, right? Verse 7 still. It says, and by the hands of them that seek their lives, and their carcasses will I give to be meat for the fowls of the heaven. And that's prophecy, right? Because he's going to do that here in Babylon, America. In Revelation, the fowls, which are birds, they're promised a great feast, right? Let's see. Yeah, Revelation. Let's get that, because the Revelation speaks about that. When people start dropping dead in Babylon, America, what Yahweh calls that, one of the things he calls it is a great feast for these birds in the air. You're gonna, like the eagles, the hawks, all these birds of prey. They're gonna see all these dead bodies in Babylon, America, and they're gonna have a feast, man. That's what the Lord promises them. You know, when did they ever tell us that in Christianity, modern Christianity? They never tell you the truth. They don't tell you what's really going to happen, what's the Lord prophesies, right? Let's see here. Oh yeah, right here. This is Revelation 19:17. It says, "And I saw an angel standing in the top of your screen, and is standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven," and remember, a fowl is a bird. It says, "Come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great God," a great power, right? "That ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free, bond, both small and great." You see, and it's because there's going to be so much death on the earth. People are going to be lying dead in the streets. So what's Yahweh saying? Come and he telling the birds, he's saying, come and gather yourselves together unto the supper, right? Supper of of the great power, Yahweh. Let me see this real quick. So check this out. It says, I looked up the word supper, and it says the evening meal, especially when dinner is eaten at midday. A social affair, having a supper. See, it's going to be a social affair for those those birds. You see, like Yahweh's like, hey, this is gonna be a social thing for y'all fellas in the air. It's like, social. It's gonna be a gathering, right? It's gonna be a good day for those fowls or those birds of the air. Let me get the etymology real quick. So supper means, another word is for last meal of the day. So they're going to have that great supper, which is going to be that social event for those birds, and it's going to be the last meal of the day. That's when I look up the etymology, that's what that means, last meal of the day. So anyway, let's go back to Jeremiah 19, and I'm at verse 8. It says, "And I will make the city desolate and unhissing. Everyone that passeth thereby shall be astonished and hiss because of the plagues thereof." Right? It's the same thing for America, right? This is, Babylon the Great is gonna be desolate. It tells you that in the scriptures, that when this place is burned, when the whore is burned, she's gonna be desolate. Verse 9, "And I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters, and they shall eat every one the flesh of his friend in the siege and straitness wherewith their enemies, and they that seek their lives shall straiten them." Right. And that's going to be part of Jacob's trouble, part of the martial law, because food is going to be scarce. Food is going to be, you're not going to have an option, right? When they implement the mandated micro C-hip, right, the little grain of rice that's going to go in your hand or in your forehead, when they make that mandatory, people aren't going to buy food. So you're going to have people, well, first they're going to be desperate, right? But when the whole system goes down, eventually people are going to eat their own kids. And this is not going to be just the Edomites. You're going to have wicked ass Jake eating their kids for desperation, their sons and their daughters. All right? People will say, oh, I would never do that. But you got to understand, you're not in that situation yet. And that's why the men of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, why we are diligent in this knowledge and this truth, because if we weren't of the elect, then hey, who knows? We would be eating our own kids, right? In desperation. If you haven't ate in a month, right? You'll be like those cartoons when they show the animals and they look at the other animal and it just looks like a big old steak. That's how you be looking at your kids, like, oh shit, all you can see is a big old steak, looking at your kid all desperate, wanting to eat something. But see, the men of the Lord, we're going to have abundance as it's written in the Bible, because Yahweh is going to provide us. He says, my servants shall eat, even in these dark days that we're coming into. If you're a true servant of Yahweh Bashem Yoshai, you don't need to worry. And not only that, you have the faith that you won't have to, we have, my servants shall eat. Watch, let's get that. Because that's why we're in this truth, man, because we have faith and we know Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is gonna have our back in these crazy, desperate times that we're about to enter into here in Babylon, America. Isaiah 65:13, it says, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, the power, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. You see? So Yahweh, we know this truth. We know the Bible. We know that we have faith, right, in Yahweh Bashem Yoshai. So he's going to take care of his servants. We're here doing the work. This is how we serve him. I'm a servant doing this lesson. Right? I'm serving Yahweh Bashem Yahushai by putting this lesson out on the YouTube, as it's like a modern day epistle, which is a letter, right? A modern day letter. Like, the Paul, he was writing epistles. These are our epistles. They're done in the form of a YouTube video, you see? But so then there's another verse that comes to mind, 2nd Ezra 2, it's either 27 or 28. Yeah. 2nd Ezra 2:27, be not weary, for when the day of trouble in heaven is cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. Right? So who is this talking about? This is talking about his servants. Remember, we just read, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. My servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. And guess what? His servants are going to have abundance. When everyone's crying and depressed and ready to kill themselves, guess what? The prophets are going to be stable we're going to be stable. It's going to be, right? I'll get that first next. But let me read 28. The heathen shall envy thee, meaning these other nations, or these even our people are heathen. They're going to envy the prophets because they're going to see that we're not in the desperate state like they are. Right? Or we're not going to be pestilence, dying of some wicked disease that Esau Edom put on you because you took his serpent juice. Verse 28, the heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, saith Yahweh. So they won't be able to do nothing about it. They'll be looking at us, in martial law and Jacob's trouble, like, why is he looking healthy and why is his spirit not depressed and suicidal? Why is he looking so stable, right? But they can't do nothing against. If you're part of that elect, if you're part of his servants, the prophets, these heathen, they ain't gonna be able to do shit. They're gonna be able to. That's when they're first gonna start recognizing who the men of the Lord are. All right. So let me get the stability. Isaiah 33:6 says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. Right, so who's going to have that wisdom and knowledge in those times? It's going to be the Lord's prophets. We're going to have the stability because we're going to see all the wicked and all the evil happening in front of us, and we're going to understand why it's happening and where it's coming from. Meanwhile, the heathen and the two-thirds, they have no idea why things are the way they are, why life is about to get so fucked up for so many people. So they're not going to have this stability. They're going to be like, if you know and understand something, it's easier to deal with, even if it's a hard situation, or if it's Yahweh's putting us through the fire. Well, guess what? If you know what the cause is, it's easier to understand and accept it. And if you're just blindsided, you don't know what's coming, you don't know why things are happening, you won't have no stability. You see? Let me get Jeremiah again. Let's see. Jeremiah 19. I'm almost done here. Verse 10. It says, Then thou shalt break the bottle in the sight of the men that go with thee, and shalt say unto them, Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, even so will I break this people and this city as one breaketh the potter's vessel, they cannot be made whole again, and they shall bury them in Tophet till there be no place to bury. Right, so he used that bottle as an example, breaking in front of them, and he's like, and explained, look, Yahweh's gonna fuck you up, just like I threw this bottle. You can't if you take a bottle and you throw it against the cement, man, it's impossible for you to pick up that bottle and put it back together, right? And that's how he's comparing the destruction that he's going to come. And this is on his own people. This is not just dealing with the heathen. Of course, the heathen is going to be destroyed, but he's dealing with the wicked of his own people in this chapter that I'm reading. All right. Verse 12. Thus will I do unto this place, saith Yahweh, and to the inhabitants thereof, and even to make this city as Tophet. Right. And there's nothing new under the sun. The same thing that, the Lord did to Tophet is going to be applied to Babylon, America. Just like I told you about the Lord's prophets, we're in the same spirit as King David was, as Jeremiah the prophet was. Well, guess what? His prophets of today are in the same spirit. We're like Jeremiah right now, telling you, hey, this is what he's about to do. He's about to fuck this place up, right? And we know only the elect are going to hear us, are going to listen. Verse 13. And the houses of Jerusalem and the houses of kings of Judah shall be defiled as the place of Tophet, because of all the houses upon the roofs they have burned incense unto the host of heaven, and have poured out drink offerings unto other gods. Right. So what do you think is happening here in Babylon, America? All you got to do, because I'm on TikTok now, right? I start watching certain things, and the algorithm, I told you in the past, on past lessons, my algorithm on my TikTok is flooded with false prophets. And this is them in verse 13 here. They're pouring out drink offerings unto other gods. Anytime you get on TikTok, you scroll through, if you have an algorithm of religion or whatever on your TikTok, what's going to happen is your stream or whatever, your TikTok, it's going to be flooded with false prophets. Literally, I could scroll, and each time I scroll, you'll hear some false prophet, in the name of Jesus Christ, You can scroll the next one, all of a sudden you see, I love Jesus Christ, and I hate saying the two names, the fake name. But literally, that's what it is, and that's what these people here, they're burning incense to Baal. They're pouring out drink offerings to other gods. All right, because Yahweh Ba'Shem are the only true powers in the universe. Right, in the whole, in existence. You can't call other gods. You can't call the Messiah the wrong name, the Hamashiach the wrong name. You can't worship any other gods. And this is what's going to cause your destruction. This is going to cause your kids to be sacrificed on the altar, which is Babylon, America. See? And me, I'm just in the same spirit as Jeremiah, coming out here on this lesson, telling you, warning you, if you're an Israelite, you have a warning, right? If you're a so-called Black, Latino, or Native American, I'm out here telling you and warning you on this video, turn from your wickedness, turn from the false religions or doctrines that you're involved in. And if you and honestly, and if you're not involved in any type of religion, then if you're an Israelite, repent. We're in the time where the kingdom is near. So it's literally, it's time for if the Lord has set up his prophets, then that means it's time for repentance. See? Come into this knowledge, come into this truth, receive have faith in the truth, have faith in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Verse, where am I at? Verse 14. Then came Jeremiah from Tophet, whither Yahweh had sent him to prophesy, and he stood in the court of the Lord's house and said to all the people, Thus saith Yahweh of the hosts, the power of Israel, behold, I will bring up this city and upon all her towns all the evil that I have pronounced against it, because they have hardened their necks, and they might not hear my words. So that's the same thing the Lord's prophets are doing right now. We're like, hey, Yahweh's going to bring evil on Babylon, America. He's going to bring evil on this city, right? And all the citizens, right? That's where you get the word city from, the word citizen. So Babylon, America is that great city. And the Lord has put the Spirit on His prophets, His servants, to warn and to tell you, hey, you hard-headed ass niggas and spicks, you better repent. All right, you better listen to the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And if you don't, guess what? Destruction. You're gonna be that part of that great supper that the Lord's gonna provide for those birds of the air, those fowls of the air. Right? So I'm going to go ahead and close out on that. I want to give all the praise, all the glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawahs, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to the elect.